believe it when you cannot see it. You gotta be possessed with the dream. Yeah.
What's up, guys? Wednesday Rapture from the Chest. I'm your host, Justin Groth. Thank you for tuning in. Guys, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your viewership, your listening. I just really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are having an awesome Wednesday, and I hope you have good plans for barbecue and family hangouts for tomorrow. Being safe. Be safe with those sparklers, man, because they'll burn the crap out of you, I swear. But anyways, there has been a lot on my plate the last, honestly, if I'm being honest, probably the last year. And I think that we all struggle with this at some point in our life, some more than others. But I want to talk about something that I think is destroying you, and because I feel like sometimes it destroys me. And this is something that I've been wanting to talk on for a while, and it's routine. It's your routine. It's my routine. Man, my routine is something that I pride myself on. I'm a very much a type A personality, and I function the best off of having structure and routine. But I, like every other human being, get tired of that routine and get tired of the monotonous, repetitive structure that I live in. Sometimes I get to the point where I just want to stir it up, and I don't care if I regress as a product. I don't care, because I just get so wound up in the scrutiny of having a routine that I just want to let loose, and I just want to have no routine anymore. And a lot of great things are byproducts of having structure and routine and even boundaries set in your life. But when is enough enough? When is this routine done? When do I move on to another season in my life? When? If you're like me, you ask God that fervently. When? When am I done here? When am I supposed to level up? What do you want me to do? When is my season turning to another season? When am I done with this routine? And you almost start to do things that self-destruct your own routine you're in, because you're just so tired of the routine. You're so tired of the structure. The thing that once brought you alignment, once brought you sanctity and calmness, now is bringing you destruction, because it's becoming so monotonous and it's so routinial and it's so redundant, perpetual, and you're tired of it. And I'm asking the question just like you are, because I don't have an answer, just like you don't. The only answer is having faith. And do you know what that means? That means that whatever you're feeling inside but you haven't seen yet take place or come to fruition, you just have to keep believing in the unseen. You have a constant, faith is having a constant reassurance in events not yet seen. And that is what you're called to do in these seasons of idle, or these seasons of monotonous routine. You feel like, okay, I'm done. When are we moving forward? But it's just not your time to move forward yet. It's not my time to move forward yet. But the thing that doesn't die is that brewing inside of your soul, that yearning, that urgency to do something bigger, to do something more, to be expanded and expressed in a different way. That doesn't go away. But that is your reinstatement that you still have more in you, and there's a new season on the horizon. It's just not right now, but you just have to continuously have faith. And because we are human, we live on this earth, we live on the same circadian rhythm as everybody else does, we have to abide by the laws of the planet, which means we get up, we go to work, we do the same thing day in and day out. It's okay that we're doing that. That's a part of our process. Just like I tell my clients, it's a part of your process to do these exercises, to continuously produce results and progressive overload on these exercises. That's it. No more, no less. And obviously, continue with proper nutrition in the household. But you continuously produce on these measures and you'll reach a new goal. But it's also a part of your, has to be an adopted part of your routine. You can't just do these things for a week or two and expect to get to your goal, right? In fitness, it's the same thing in life. Life is not a different process. Life tends to be a more monotonous process because it seems like it's never ending. But your job is to listen. Your job is to stay fervent in the ways that God's designed you. That means being self-aware with your best creativity. What are you the best at? Becoming self-aware and tunnel vision in that. Being authentic in your expression of who you are and being integral in every single thing that you do, in every relationship, in every word you say, everything that you do, including your work, your job, even if you don't like it, you must remain integral. That is being the best you. That is the definition. Being integral in your work, in your word, in your relationships, being authentic in your delivery, in your expression of who you are, and finally, being your best where you're at. Those things are the culmination of being your best. It's not about your grinding and your hustle. That doesn't produce the best result in you. It's listening to where God wants you right now, aligning yourself with Him, His faculties, and just tunnel vision all the way through. You got to be self-aware. You got to be authentic in your expression, and you got to be integral with who you are in your work, in your relationships. That is you being the best version. That's all you can really do right now in the midst of your routine, in the midst of the monotony, in the midst of the structure that is you right now. That's the best you can do. That's the only thing you can do. And just like I tell my clients, you can't speed this process up. You can't get from A to B. You can't get from B to C. You can't get all the way from A to Z in a shorter time frame because you chose to be a little bit more aggressive. Because you chose to cut your calories 500 calories back than what you were supposed to do. You can't speed this process. There will be repercussions if you speed the process. You're going to get to where you're going to get in the time allotted that it takes in a healthy way. In your life, the same rules apply. You can't speed your process up. You can't grind and hustle your way to the top, despite what gurus will tell you, despite what your best friend or your best guru might tell you. You cannot grind and hustle your way, because guess what? If you live on the same planet that I live in, you're in the same realm and same frequency that I'm on, then you're a human being just like me, which means that you're exposed to the same faculties that I'm exposed to, which means that you cannot speed or hustle or grind your way to a better version of who you were supposed to be at this time, right now, the only thing you can do is grind and hustle your way to the top, being the fact that you align yourself with God, with His faculties. That's it. Let me say that again. You cannot grind and hustle your way to the top. The only way you grind and hustle, quote unquote, your way to the top is by aligning yourself with God and the faculties of Him and listening to Him, listening to what He wants with you and what He wants of you and being integral in that regard. That's it. That's it. You want to know why I hate the term grind and hustle? It's because it's based on man's interpretation, not God's. Because God's economy is far different than man's economy. And everybody promoting it, I don't care who they are, I don't agree with it. I agree with aligning yourself with what God wants from you. The concepts, the faculties that He's ingrained in you, that you know to be true. The self-awareness of who you are, the authenticity of your expression, and the integrity behind your word, your relationships, and your actions. That is the way you become the best version, and inadvertently, that's the way you grind, quote unquote, your way to the top. So in the midst of your routine, the monotony, the structure, the thing that once promoted you to a higher level is now the thing that is self-destructing, and it's actually weighing you down. The only thing you can do is continue to believe in the things that you haven't seen take shape yet. Believe in the brewing, in the talents that He's placed inside of you. Believe that He wouldn't have you still living if He didn't have a purpose, a plan of intent for you. All these faculties are the things that need to be your cornerstone in your life. Because I'm telling you, you wouldn't still be alive if there wasn't a bigger plan for you. Honestly, that's it. I'm stopping there. There's no other expression that I can illustrate that's better than that. You just would not be alive if He didn't have something still great that He was doing in your life. I mean, He'd just take you. If you're not producing, if you don't have anything left to give this earth, if there wasn't anything left that He had inside of you that He wanted to glorify His kingdom with, then He would just take you, I believe. So that's expression enough to understand that you are still doing something. There's still a work being done in your life. You don't get it. I don't get it. But as long as that brewing is still relevant, as long as that seed is still cultivating in your spirit, and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. It's your due diligence to continue in this process that you cannot understand or see or understand where it's going to take shape or how it's going to take shape. That's not your job. Your job is to be your best. And like I said before, being your best is being authentic in your expression, being integral in your job, in your relationships, in everything you do in life. And it's being self-aware with your attributes, with your creativity, with who He's designed you to be on the biological level. That's the only thing you can do. That's your pathway to be your best you. And again, inadvertently, you come into new seasons. Some people will say also, be grateful. Be grateful for where you're at. But I believe that you living with an authentic expression of who you are, you being integral, is inadvertently also being grateful for where you're at, because you're not some Debbie Downer. You're not walking around with your head in between your shoulder blades. You're aware. You're producing. You're integral. You can't be integral and be down. You can't be authentic in your expression that God's given you and be a mopey person. All those things as a byproduct are going to produce the best you. So you're stuck in your routine like I am. You got to understand, A, you're not alone. I'm with you. But B, you got to continue this process because God's job is to take you into the seasons that he calls you in when you're ready. You just may not be ready right now, but that doesn't mean you give up on being integral, being authentic, and being self-aware with the biological creativity that you need to adopt. That's it. Self-aware, integral, and becoming authentic in your expression.